Alright, Claire, so this is, I'm going to go ahead and send you a video so that you can see the concepts that happen here. So, in this case here, what I can't have is I in my denominator, so that's what I'm looking at. I can't have this I here. It's just the rules of math, so, you know, it's like I can't have a square root down there. So I'm going to take this here, this 1 minus 2i, and I'm going to multiply it by its complex conjugate. Well, its complex conjugate is 1 plus 2i, and you'll see when we go through the process that the i's will go ahead and cancel out. So let's go ahead and look at what happens here. So if I had, and so a complex conjugate means I'm going to go ahead and take the numbers you'll see are the same. That's what I wanted to do. The numbers are the same here, right? But what I end up with, though, is the sign changes. So if I have negative 4 minus 3i, right, the complex conjugate is going to be negative 4 plus 3i. Right, if I had 7 plus 2i, the complex conjugate is going to be 7 minus 2i. So I think you can see the pattern, right? So the numbers are the same. The sign on the I, right, changes. And when I do that, I end up with, that will get rid of my I in my denominator, which is what I'm after. So I'm going to multiply this by the complex conjugate. So I'm going to multiply this by 1 plus 2i over 1 plus 2i. Right? Which is the same thing, of course, as multiplying by 1. So when I do this, I actually have to go through the whole hellacious thing of foiling it. So I have first, right? So I have my 5i, and I'm going to multiply it by 1. So that's going to give me 5i. And then I'm going to have my 5i times my 2i. And that's going to give me, plus, let me get a pen, plus 5i. I'm going to do it out really long, times 2i. Right? And then I'm going to do my negative 2i, my insides, times 1. So that's just going to give me minus a 2i. And then I have my negative 2i times positive 2i. So that's going to give me a minus 2i times a positive 2i. Right? And that's all going to be over. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to FOIL out the denominator. So this is going to give me, right, 1 times 1. And obviously that's 1. That's easy. And then I have 1 times positive 2i for my last. So that gives me, right, plus 1 times positive 2i. And then I have negative 2i times 1. So that gives me a minus 2i times 1. And then I end up finally with a negative 2i plus 2i. So that gives me a, minus 2i times positive 2i. Alright, so I need to remember, right, Claire, that r squared is equal to negative 1. And that's simply a definition. So I'm going to come over here. And I get, in my numerator, I end up with, let's change pens so we can see what's going on, 5i, and then, right, that gives me plus 10i squared, and I have a minus 2i, and then I have this times that, which gives me minus 4i squared, over, and this gives me 1, and then once again, I have a plus 2i, and this one here, right, gives me a minus 2i. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. Now my i's go away. And then this last term here, right, this last term right here, when I multiply through, I'm going to end up with minus 4i squared. So in the numerator, right, I'm going to move this over here. This is equal to, let me grab a different color so you can see that I'm doing something different now. I have, this is going to give me 5i. I'm just going to write them differently. and then minus 2i. So I just gathered up my I terms. And then I squared, right? Remember, I squared is -1, so I get a minus 10. And once again, I squared is -1, so I have -4 times -1. So that gives me plus 4 over. And then down here, these guys cancel, right? So I end up with 1, and then once again, I squared is -1. So I have, that becomes a plus 4. And so I collect up my like terms, right? So I have, in my numerator, I have -10 plus 4, so that gives me a -6. And then 5 minus 2i is a minus 3i. And then it's all over, so that's my numerator, and that's all over 5, and that's my final answer. So to go through it real quickly again, Claire, what's going on, right? I can't leave my I in my denominator. I multiply by the conjugate. The hardest part is to FOIL, right? So I take, first, right, last, inside, right, outside terms. Okay, and I do the same thing in my denominator. First, last, inside, outsides. Okay? And then I, have to remember that I squared is -1, and that's simply a definition. So I end up with 5i plus 10i squared minus 2i minus 4i squared. And then I change those I squareds to -1s. I collect up my terms. There it is. And then my final answer is there. All right? So if I were you, I would try a few more, Just, you can make them up yourself. Let's go ahead and give you a couple more you can try. All right, so you can try a few more. Let me know how that goes. And, alrighty, that's the end of this video.